All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Yeah, I know we just checked out some Bill Russell stuff, but I had another request to talk about Bill Russell's offensive side. So this is something I am not well informed of, and I'd like to be more informed of. So we're gonna check out a video here. It's from Basketball Universe, and this one's called "Debunking the Myth That Bill Russell Was Bad on Offense." Sounds perfect. This was contributed by from the comments, and this is another one of those videos that would have been not on my radar, so I appreciate you guys for pointing this stuff out. As usual, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description if you want to watch it without my commentary. Go right ahead. Everybody else, please leave the video a like as usual. It always helps, and I always appreciate it as this channel is slowly but surely growing. I owe it all to you guys. All right, here we go.
Bill Russell couldn't score. He was a glorified role player. He only won because he played with so many Hall of Famers. How many times have we heard this nonsense from NBA fans? Because of this myth, people have convinced themselves that Bill Russell, aka Mr. 11-time champion, is overrated. Well, it's time to hear the truth, and nothing but the truth.
Let's do it.
Bill Russell was a great offensive player. Let's break this down. First off, let's establish the premise that scoring isn't the only thing to measure the value a player brings on the offensive end.
Agreed.
Although Bill Russell wasn't a dominant scorer, he was the greatest passing big man of his era. Here's how we know this. For his 13-year career, he was the #1 passing big man a total of 8 times. And there were 4 other times where he was second behind Wilt Chamberlain. There was also 4 times where he finished in the top 10 in the league. He peaked in the 1964-65 season when he finished 5th in assists per game. What's even more impressive is that once Bob Cousy retired, Bill Russell was their unofficial floor general, and that was especially the case in the half-court setting. He was an expert at fighting cutters and creating easy offense for his team. And
Nice. So they're running it through the post. Looks a little bit like the past couple years with Jokic.
Red Auerbach has always said that he was the initiator of their fast break. He didn't just do this with his outlet passes after grabbing the rebound, but by blocking the ball to a teammate. There were even times where he would bring the ball up the court like a point guard. Let's not forget that he was a
Full
world-class
speed.
athlete that could run the floor extremely well. You can take it from this millennial, or from John Havlicek himself. This is what he wrote for his autobiography when discussing the state of the Celtics in their first season after Russell retired. Quote, "You couldn't begin to count the ways we missed him. People think about him in terms of defense and rebounding, but he had been the key to our offense. He made the best pass more than anyone I have ever played with."
That's a hard pass right there.
He continues saying, "Russell made us better offensive players. His ability as a passer, pick setter, and general surmisser of offense has always been overlooked." End of quote. Decades later, and we continue to overlook what he did on offense for the greatest dynasty in American sports history. But what about on the scoring end? How come he has never averaged over 20 points per game and he never shot over 50% from the field?
From what I understand, he never had to. He had people doing that for him, so he focused on what he had to focus on, and that's why I like him.
Although those are legitimate gripes, we do have an answer for that, and it came from the ringmaster himself. In 2012, Bill Simmons, the founder of The Ringer, sat down with Bill Russell for an interview and documented a little bit of their conversation. He talked about his leadership tactics and what he did to make his teammates better. He mentioned that Russell believes that a basketball team only achieves its potential if everyone embraces their role.
Yeah,
If everyone
there it is. There it is.
plays to their strength, then your team is better off.
Yeah.
For example, Bob Cousy ran the break. Tom Heinsohn ran the lane and crashed the boards. Bill Sharman, Sam Jones, and John Havlicek handled the scoring. Casey Jones and Sat Sanders handled the perimeter defense. And Russell handled everything else.
And that's a problem I have with modern basketball is everyone is trained to play exactly the same based on, what I want to say, not statistics, but you know what I mean, based off of numbers. Everyone is trained to play the exact same way. And we're losing out on that special individualism that we used to have. Like, okay, you're good at rebounding, Dennis Rodman. Go get rebounds, play defense. You know, you be that guy. Hey, you got Michael Jordan over here, best scorer of all time. All right, ball's in your hand. You put up some points. Like, I don't know. I miss the era of specialists, and that's why I never dissed Bill Russell, because he was a specialist.
That's what made the Celtics so successful. So when Russell says things like, shooting is of relatively little importance in a player's overall game, is not him looking to defend his legacy. It's Russell giving us gems of knowledge. He knew that if he made a point to average a certain amount of points and to force the Celtics to revolve their offense around him, they would have never reached their full potential. It was about allowing his teammates to play out their strengths and being there to cover their weaknesses. That's what made him the ultimate leader in basketball. So when Russell would score 15 or 18 points, and the Celtics would still go on to beat their opponents by 30 points, it wasn't because they were loaded with talent. Let's get something clear here. The Celtics never had a top 3 scorer at any point in Russell's career. In fact, there were 4 seasons where they didn't even have a top 10 scorer. The secret to their success was that no one in the history of the league affected a game in a positive manner without scoring more than Bill Russell.
That's surprising. I did not know that.
Why he was voted as the most valuable player by his contemporaries 5 times. It was obvious to the rest of the players that no one affected winning more for their team than Russell did. And that's all that he cared about. Scoring meant nothing to him as long as his team ended up with a W. That was always his philosophy. His low scoring numbers were more of a choice than a lack of ability. But when he needed to score, he proved multiple times that he could in the biggest moments. For example, there were 7 times when he averaged over 20 points in a playoff series. 3 of those times came in the finals. In the 1962 finals against the Lakers, he averaged 22.9 points on 54% shooting, 27 rebounds, and 5.7 assists for the series.
It's crazy. My kind of guy, by the way. When there's more on the line, you step it up.
And on the 7th game, he goes for 30 points and 40 rebounds.
40
then in the
rebounds.
1966 finals, the series goes to 7 games again. And Russell had the best series of his career. He averaged 23.6 points on 54% shooting, 24.3 rebounds, and 3.7 assists.
Insane.
And if you want efficiency, then we have the 1965 finals when he averaged 17.5 points on 70% shooting. In Game 2, Mr. Russell goes for 23 points on 10 of 11 shooting, 25 rebounds, and 10 assists.
That's disgusting. That's like efficiency-wise, you're not beating that.
And he played all 48 minutes.
48
minutes.
minutes.
Does that seriously sound like a bad offensive player to you? But if his career 44% field goal average is that big of a problem for you, then we need to clarify something here. During this era, teams were not looking to shoot the ball efficiently. It was all about scoring the ball as fast as humanly possible. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
In the 1959/60 season, the Celtics averaged 136.3 possessions per 48 minutes. They played at lightning speed, which allowed them to shoot the ball nearly 120 times per game. Unsurprisingly, they only averaged 41.7% from the field. But believe it or not, that was above the league average of 41%. With that context in mind, we can say that Russell shot the ball efficiently for the style of offense that was being played at the time. In fact, he shot above the league average 9 times. There were 4 times where he finished in the top 5 in field goal percentage. He peaked in 1959 when he had the second highest field goal percentage in the NBA. I am 100% convinced that Bill Russell could have regularly averaged over 20 points for a season if that was a priority for him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But that was something that he couldn't care less about.
Yeah, he wanted to win.
He was the ultimate team leader. He self-sacrificed in order for his teammates to succeed. Basketball was never supposed to be an individual game, and he knew this right from the start. That's why Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Oscar Robertson never beat him in the playoffs. As far as Wilt Chamberlain, he beat him once out of 8 tries. If you want to take all their numbers, that's fine. More power to you. But I'll take all the winning that Bill Russell did. Do you agree with this take? Or how should we evaluate Russell's offensive game in the grand scheme of things? Let me know in the comments.
I mean, when it comes to greatness, I don't lean that much into stats because, you know, there are guys like James Harden out there with a bunch of empty stats. That doesn't mean much to me. Greatness to me is winning and what you did to win, how you won. And Bill Russell won the right way. He was the ultimate team player. He did a ton of dirty work for his guys, and he didn't care about that individual legacy part. He just wanted the Celtics to win and keep winning. So he did whatever it took. He even coached a damn team at one point while he was playing, whatever it takes. So greatness-wise, Bill Russell's up there. No matter what, you can't convince me that he's overrated when it comes to the greatest of all time. Like, he's up there. As far as individual, now we can have some arguments, you know, like who would, you know, you pin against like Michael Jordan versus Bill Russell on a one-on-one. Things get a little dicey there. But yeah, as far as basketball being a team sport and him being one of the greatest of all time, I've got no gripe with that whatsoever, ever. Because he's exactly the type of teammate I would love to play with, or I'd love to coach, or I would have loved to draft. Offensively, it looks like he was capable of doing whatever the hell he pretty much wanted, but he kept everybody involved and kept everyone focused on their strengths, while he knew his strength was defense and rebounding. So he focused on that. I see nothing wrong with this because it worked over and over and over again. And if it didn't work and they weren't winning championships, then time would have forgotten him. But it did. So that's all that counts. Anyways, everyone, that's going to do it for tonight. Let me know your thoughts on this. Is Bill Russell overrated in your mind? And if so, go ahead and state it. Is your definition of greatness different than mine? Because that's very possible. But anyways, I'm going to head out for tonight. Thanks for watching as usual, everyone. Please leave the video a like if you feel inclined to do so. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning, okay? All right, you have a wonderful night. Be good to your people. And yeah, peace out, all right?